Welcome everyone to the Warren Fleet conference call. At this time, all participants are in listen-only mode. Later, you have the opportunity to ask questions during the question and answer session. It is now my pleasure to turn the conference over to Joe Steffen and Lance Slotterbeck. Go ahead, sir.
All right, thanks, Luke. Hello, welcome everyone. We got our Warren Fleet conference call. It is a 5 Tuesday month, so it is the fourth Warren Fleet conference call of March, and we'll have one more on the 31st. So today on the call, you got myself, Joe Steffen, Director of Van Operations, Lance Slotterbeck, VP General Manager Warren Transport, Ben Coffrin, Director of Safety. I'm going to start with an apology because I missed entering a couple of the truck washes that I gave out. So Chad, your wash is good to go. Reggie, you still got a wash that's good to go, and Victor, you got one good to go. Robert, thanks for cashing yours in. So that was for the truck washes given out at the beginning of this month. Remember, we'll do that again at the beginning of April. Ben, want to get us started with some safety comments, and then we'll kick it over to Lance to bat cleanup.
Absolutely. Speaking of bat and cleanup, we're 2 days away from the greatest day of the year, right?
That's right.
Opening day, baby, right? We won't tell Lance what the Cubs and Yankees score were yesterday.
Yeah.
It's only preseason, so it's not where you start, it's where you finish, right? So, but hey, welcome everybody. Appreciate being back. I had last week off, and now I'm refreshed and ready to go. And thanks for holding down the fort, not only our operators but our safety team. I just want to start out by shouting out. We got a bunch of birthdays this week, so I really want to shout out for our birthday people: Nathan Nordquist, Aaron Cooper, Sergio Contreras, Barry Jackson, Chase Hahn, Gary Teelbein, Dorea Luckett, and Anthony Tucker. So happy birthdays to you. And then we also have some anniversaries with some really a couple with some long tenure with Warren, and we want to shout out to them this week. You know, we got Tanya Strong for 2 years, Marcus Smith for 2 years, Alaga Kolakovic for 4 years, John Freet on our local fleet for 5 years, and then Kirby Miller, 12 years here, and the grand winner this week, Willie Clark, who's a longtime listener, been with us for 18 years. So that is outstanding. Happy anniversaries, and we wish you many, many more. Just a couple safety things, and then I'll turn over to Lance. I just want to, with the increase, the nicer weather, it's a great time for productivity and wide open roads, no weather events, knock on wood. Hopefully Mother Nature is done with us as far as winter weather. I doubt that, but, our odds are in our favor. But it is a time where we sort of see our following distance events increase. It happens every year due to, increased traffic, a lot of open miles, and everybody else hitting the road for spring breaks or this or that, in the summer months. So, just be aware of that. Utilize your Lytx app sort of for game film, right? If you get an event, look at it, have a conversation with your fleet manager. What could we have done better? No one's perfect out there, but if you really utilize that Lytx app, it'll really help you understand the why instead of not watching the film and not watching the event and then having your fleet manager discuss a certain situation and you guys won't be on the same page. So utilize that. It's really convenient, and you got plenty of downtime between shippers here or there, your 10-hour break. Get on that driver app and look at the events. Hopefully you don't have any, but when you do have them, make sure you view them. Also, we really want you folks that have 2022 or newer. If you have the Freightliners, you have the Detroit Assurance. If you have the Peets and the Volvos, you have the Bendix Fusion systems. Utilize that technology. The adaptive cruise is an excellent way not only to reduce following distance because it's going to break at 3.6 seconds. There's absolutely no way you're going to get any kind of Lytx event, but it also, it has a lot of other features here. It enhances safety, obviously reduces the chances of a rear end crash. It improves fuel economy, and with obviously the fuel prices right now, every penny counts. Reduces obviously the braking wear and tear of constantly braking without the adaptive cruise, and it also reduces driver fatigue. Right, so utilize that if you have it. If you have any questions, go into the Lytx Luma. There's some good e-nuggets in there for your choosing. Get a hold of me, and I'll navigate you. We'll also get this information out to our fleet managers to help you folks. So another talking point this week was overweight. We're seeing an increased number of events of overweight citations, both the van division and on the open deck division. folks, it's worth the $14 CAT scale to know where you're at. Make sure your legal axle weight. These states, it's not about safety anymore. It's about how much revenue they can get off of you and the trucking company. And some of these fines have been in the thousands of dollars. So that's a huge chunk of revenue out the door for just a simple proactive, $14 CAT scale. You get it, you use it against your tax deductions at the end of the year, and it saves not only a potential fine, but these scale houses, they get you overweight, and now you're looking at maybe other CSA violations because now they got you in the chicken coop, and loss of productivity and possibly another tow charge if we can't scale it legally, and we're going to have to get road service involved. So be aware of your weight. Unfortunately, a lot of these shippers, they'll just load it how they want to, but if you can be proactive and know how they distribute it, if it's not preloaded, make sure that you are in constant communication with them and you guys are on the same page. I just want to end on some really, really good news. Knock on wood. I hate saying good news because you never know what happened, but folks, you guys have been really stepping up to the plate and knocking it out of the park. I mean, I'm looking at this week, our out of service rate is 30.1%. Now I know the national average is 23.3, but it's baby steps here, and we were as high as 32 something percent. We've been chiseling that down, and that's the lowest we've had since last May, which is outstanding. We've had 0 out of service violations this month. Really, you guys are just nailing out of the park. And then looking at our crashes, we've had 2 crashes this month, 0 preventables. And then we haven't had a DOT crash in 66 days and 0 preventable DOT crashes this entire year. So what a great way to start out 2026. But we still got 8 more months to go. So, or 9 more months to go. So, keep at it, keep the safe practices going, do proper pre-trips, maintain that following distance so you can get home safe and make as much productivity as you can. So appreciate all you do out there. You make my job easy. And again, we're very grateful for you men and women out there working hard. I'll turn it back over to Ops.
All right, Lance,
Thanks,
what
guys.
you got for us today?
All right, good afternoon, everybody. I'm back again. We were having some Facebook problems last week, and I had a lot I wanted to share with everybody. So if you were tuning in last week on the phone, you heard some of this already. But if you were a typical regular Facebook viewer, this is going to be new that I really wanted to share with you. So, but first off, welcome to March Madness. It's been a crazy basketball season, and we're going through it right now in the middle of it. And we're excited that the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Iowa State Cyclones have made it to the Sweet 16. One of those was a big surprise. The other one probably was pretty expected, but we're excited about that in this state. So, hopefully your team has had a good run, but maybe in the comments, leave a note who your favorite basketball team is and who you think is going to make it and be the champion this year. Who did you fill out your brackets, if you did, as the all-out winner? Be interested to hear that. I'm feeling generous today. I'll give one person who correctly picks the winner of the national championship in the comments a free truck wash. So put your thoughts as to who it's going to be. 1 entry per person, please, and I'll give you a free truck wash if you correctly select the number or the name. If you select the Iowa Hawkeyes, you're probably crazy, but that's all right. But we're happy to be there. Ben mentioned winter weather, and I'm also very grateful that we had a safe winter. Your fleet managers were looking out for you ahead of time, ahead of where you were going on the routes when bad weather came up, prompted and given good information by the safety department. And then they gave you guys all a call to let you know, hey, here's what's ahead of you on the road. And most of you already were making safe decisions and knew what was coming, but it's a good service that we like to perform for you men and women out there so that you're making safe decisions. And thank you for doing that, for making a really great safe winter. Ben mentioned we didn't have any preventable winter weather related accidents this season, and we're grateful to for everybody. So I think Joe likes to say you can't out revenue a crash, and that's exactly right. It's always better to park it and be safe and then move on when conditions improve. So thank you very much. And if you got some cool winter weather photos, I'll bet you probably did, whether it was while you were on the road in a truck stop or just saw a pretty view. Put a couple pictures of that in the comments as well. Sure would like to see you know, when our men and women are all over the country, you see some pretty scenery. So put some stuff in the comments for photos from what you saw this winter too. Getting into the meat and potatoes of what I wanted to talk about is new customers and rates. So first of all, I want you to be very well aware that Warren is at the leading edge of asking and talking to customers about getting higher rates. As we've all seen, first of all, for the past 3.5 years, the market has been terrible, right? Rates have been going down. It's been a real struggle. Warren had made some good progress last year on getting rates up where we were from the bottom, and this year has to be higher. And we are in a market now where the carriers have much stronger leverage and pricing capacity to take advantage of the marketplace and get better rates for our men and women. So that is at the front and foremost of my mind is going out and making sure that the rates that we're running, the loads that we're running are at current and better market rates than what is out there or what we were running in the past. In the last 6 weeks, we have 10 new customers that have started. So that's our sales team is out there, you know, beating the streets trying to get new business on board, and we're bringing on new business and new customers that are paying great rates that are refreshed and good. So some of the customers that you maybe have already seen or you may very well likely see soon that we're running loads for include Hobby Lobby, Vitro Packaging, Weiler Products, Beckert, FedEx, Archer Daniels Midland, also known as ADM, and then Mariner. So all of those are brand new customers for us, and there's a few others out there too. But those are some that I thought that I'd like to share with y'all. And customers are picking up the phone. When our salespeople are calling, they're getting a hold of people saying, "Hey, I want to lock in capacity," and that's a good sign. So we're out there looking for the best paying loads for you and some great customers as well. So spot market rates continue to be hot and our CPM is up. So I mentioned we brought on 10 new customers and that's all great. And the proof is in the pudding. Our rates are up 5.6% since January 1st. Sometimes you go an entire year without having a 5.6% increase in your rates. We have done that. We've accomplished that in the first 3 months of this year, and there are some good things coming that will increase that continually through the year as well. So expect to see more, higher settlements and more money, and know that that your pricing team and your sales team are out there looking for the best paying loads for you and the highest rates so that we can get more money into your net settlement, and we're having very good success. So some of the examples of success include, obviously if we run broker loads, we're out there negotiating the rates up, not negotiating them down like there were a couple years ago, but we are negotiating the rates up with broker loads. We only run about 2.2% of our van loads with traditional brokers. So that's kind of a limited piece of what we do. So the biggest impact has been our success at getting rate increases from our customers. So Titan Tire is a good example of a very good customer we've done business with for a long time, and we recently got a rate increase with them that went into effect March 1st. So that's a significant improvement and increase in rates. Carrier Corporation, our second or third largest customer, depending on the month, effective April 1st coming up, we have a rate increase that is more than 8% increase over prior year. So that is big money that's coming. It hasn't even hit this 5.6%, right, of where we're at. And then additionally to that is Deere. We were able to re-rate a pretty significant segment of their business, and that also went up between 8 and 11% on those loads, and those go into effect on April 1st, a week from tomorrow as well. So the hits keep coming. Some other ones we've had really good success with this year include Walmart. So some of you have run Walmart Dedicated, and we were able to get a 31% rate increase from them from where we were in running the exact same loads in peak season just last fall. So if you're running it last fall and where we're at today, pays 31% better. So that's a good thing, along with some other great customers like Cascade Engine and Kroger. We've gotten more money from them as well. Obviously they pay us more money. They expect great service. So great communication and picking up the loads and delivering on time is very important for all of them. The negotiations are continually happening with other customers. I've got a pretty long list, folks, of who I'm talking to about getting more rate and being able to give them asset trucks to to move them with. So we are continually contacting and talking to our customers about rates, specifically about getting more money into our contractors' pocket. So when you pull up to a new customer, what is the first thing that tells you if it's going to be a good experience or a bad experience? This is something I'm curious about because as I talk with all sorts, talk about our with our salespeople and talk to new customers, I want to know kind of what's the type of thing that tells us on the first impression that we've got a good customer on our hands. Leave us some comments in the comments of our post here. And I'll follow up on those because I really would like to share that as we get into it with our customers into the stronger season. They're going to want to know, how do I get more of your trucks, Warren Transport? And I'll say, well, make it a place that Warren drivers want to go. So what are some things that are good that you know it's going to be a good experience when you get there? And what are some things that are a bad experience? You don't have to name names. I actually kind of prefer that you don't name names of customers that are one way or the other. But I would like to know if you tell me what the things are so we can address them. Fuel is probably the other really big thing, right? So fuel prices have increased sharply over the last few weeks. And there's two main things that as a member of Warren Transport, as a contractor with Warren Transport, that you guys have access to that really helps bring down the cost of fuel compared to what most people out there are experiencing at the pump. So, we have a truck stop right by us up here today and fuel's over $5 a gallon. That's the pump price. Boy, I feel sorry for the poor people who have to pay that pump price because that is ridiculously high. Warren has a really great fuel discount program. Okay, so we have fuel discounts at more than 2,300 locations nationwide, and those discounts go from anywhere between like 40 cents a gallon. I looked last week we were at $1.29 a gallon in some of these places, including right up the road here at the Love's that's on the corner. The fuel discount was $1.15 a gallon, pretty substantial. So make sure you're utilizing Warren's fuel stops. The network that we have is a huge saving. $1 plus per gallon, or even an average of call it 65 cents a gallon. That's a big savings over what everybody else has to pay. There's a couple great ways to know how and where what the best fuel prices are. One is using the WEX app. Everybody should have access to that, but if you don't, talk to your fleet manager. They'll make sure you help get you set up and how to use it. But the WEX app is great for seeing what fuel prices are, including your discount along your route. So you'll be able to say, oh, I'm not going to stop at this location if I can go 10, 20, 30 miles further and have it 10 cents cheaper than right here. It really helps you make some smart decisions. And there's also access to our fuel discounts in our app as well. But the WEX app is definitely a really strong app for that. The other piece of it is fuel surcharge. So obviously our customers, we've negotiated a fuel surcharge rate with nearly all of our customers. And as fuel prices go up, then the fuel surcharge that they're reimbursing to us, or that they're paying to us, which we pass through 100% to our contractor, you guys are the ones paying for the fuel, that goes up as well. So as the price of fuel goes up, the fuel surcharge goes up, and that amount of money goes up into your pocket to help pay for, unfortunately, higher fuel costs, but it helps to offset that. Again, it helps to offset that charge, that cost. There's two types of fuel surcharge, and I don't want to get too far into the details here, but one type of fuel surcharge is set weekly, and it's based off the Department of Energy's national averages for fuel price. And that's set on Monday afternoons, it's released, and then Tuesday morning, pretty much everybody in the country that has a fuel surcharge, that's the number that they anchor their fuel surcharge payment based off of. And then the other one is breakthrough fuel. So the good thing about breakthrough fuel, it can be a devil sometimes if prices are real low or real average, but if fuel prices are going up fast, having breakthrough fuel is a really good thing because it will stay. It's calculated by the day. So when you're dispatched on your load, that's the day they're calculating the price of fuel. So as fuel prices go up, it's good to have breakthrough fuel so that you're not lagging by as much as a week based on the Department of Energy number that only comes out on Monday afternoons. So that's positive. And, honestly, when fuel prices decrease, as the prices go down, it's kind of the opposite. If they go up, it's the fuel surcharge lags. Well, it also lags when the prices go down, which means you make a little money when fuel prices are going down because the fuel surcharge stays at that higher level for a week. So then it catches up, and as fuel keeps going down, you keep making more money. What's the lowest fuel stop price that you guys have seen in the last week? I know prices have been up. Maybe even show the highest one. That might be scarier. But say something in the comments about where you've seen the lowest fuel price the last week and where you've seen the highest fuel price in the last week. I think we'd be interested to all hear where that is. But yeah, just wrap it up for myself. Weather can happen year round. And as we get into the spring and summer months, your fleet managers are still going to be talking with you about weather. They'll be calling you about, we're not out of spring yet. There's still going to be potential ice storms or winter weather, high winds. Certainly tornadoes and hurricanes and floods and all those types of things are going to happen this year across the country somewhere. Your fleet manager is looking out for you, and with Ben's team and the safety department, Joe and the fleet manager group will be making sure to look out for you and help give you guys the most current information so that you can be safe. Don't forget that even though fuel prices are high, being with Warren has a lot of benefits. In particular, that the fuel surcharges are high and the fuel discounts are really high. So those are helping to offset a huge chunk of the very high expense of fuel costs. And then Warren is leading the industry when it comes to getting better pay for our contractors. We are out there getting rate increases every day, folks, and it's showing in the settlements. It's showing in the average rate that we're running. So thanks for everything that you do. We're also trying to grow. We got a lot of customers, as I mentioned, new customers coming on board. So refer your friends and get paid when they start. Those 10 new customers, along with all the others, they're going to want more trucks to run the load. So tell your friends. That's all I got, Joe.
All right, thanks, Lance. I'll just wrap up by, piggybacking off of what Lance had to say. Deadhead is a big thing when fuel prices are going up. So that's a big target of ours, both with developing new customers and working with existing ones. Working with your dispatch team, working with the drivers, working with the planning team and customer service team, trying to get those deadheads cut down because there is no fuel surcharge on empty miles. So we know it's not going to be zero across the board, but that's something that we're targeting. We've done a pretty good job. I didn't look at today's, shame on me, but we've done a pretty good job of getting that number under 10%, which has historically been around 11 or 12%. So that's a specific goal, a specific action we're taking in operations to try to help you get more money in your pocket. So that's it. Luke, if you could remind our callers how to register a question, we'll move over to the question and answer portion of the program.
Hi, everyone. If you would like to ask a question, please go ahead and press #1 on your telephone keypad. Again, that's #1, and you'll be placed in the queue in the order received. Again, that's #1 if you have any questions. We have a couple of questions, sir, from Belinda Carroll. First question, go ahead, please.
Hey, Lance, one question.
Yep.
Who's playing in these games that we're supposed to be guessing on? Because I never watched before.
Well, there's 16 teams left, and I don't have them off the top of my head, but you have a 1 in 16 chance if you know who they are.
Yes or no?
Arizona.
Arizona,
no?
that's a big one.
Put down Arizona, Belinda.
There you go.
Bank on it.
That's good.
What about? But I'm from Texas. Are the Spurs anywhere near that?
No, the Spurs aren't in it. There's you can put down Texas.
Texas is still alive.
There's the Horns are alive. The Horns and all Houston would be a better one.
Yeah,
You're from
pick
Texas.
Houston would be a better
Pick
one.
Houston.
Yep.
Okay. 'Cause, I drive a truck. I don't have time to watch sports. But I appreciate y'all a lot.
Appreciate you.
Thanks,
Belinda.
Belinda.
Y'all have a great day.
You too.
Thank you. Our next question comes from Alex Martinez.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Alex.
Hey, my only question is, have we done anything about the loads going to Lewisburg, the carrier loads? Because I know there's been an issue with we take a load up there, and I know they have loads, but the kind of scheduling is kind of, off the chart. So it used to be that we used to get there and we used to be able to pick up a empty trailer, and I know the last few times they haven't had any empty trailers because they'll just load them right up, and we're just stuck, taking a load, out of there that doesn't, that have the scheduled delivery for like 3 or 4 days, in the future.
Good question.
Have
Yes.
you done anything about that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes is the answer. So the first answer why we have a load, I'd have a different perspective of we have to take a load. I'd say you get to take a 0 deadhead reload out of your delivery. But the challenge is in the scheduling. So the urgency is on your dispatcher to get with you while you are still in Texas. Because the key is to line you up when you're on the way into Lewisburg so that you have selected and have the appointment scheduled for your load out of there. So that's the solution to that, is to get yourself pre-planned, because I think you want to know what load you're doing next before you deliver the one you're hauling, and most people do.
Yeah.
Getting pre-planned and getting the schedule set up so that if you don't get your appointment that you want, you're still 1,000 miles away and we get a different load that'll work for you. So that's the solution, is to get pre-planned earlier, like when you are leaving Laredo is when to get pre-planned out of Lewisburg.
But even as that, like, I've seen some of the loads, and it's like you get there in 2 days, and then they have a load there sitting there, would be has the better schedule, and you still have to, wait 3 or 4 days to deliver that load because that's all they have. So
That's the point. That would be the one.
Lewisburg, yeah.
That would be the one not to take. It'd be to get yourself set up before you're leaving Laredo, so you're not in a position where people get sideways is when they wait for a better load. And that's the challenge. It's a good customer, but it's a challenge if we're waiting for a better load and then we hope to get something else. And then you're stuck with what's left when you get there. So get pre-planned early. It's going to be about 1.8 days from Laredo to Lewisburg, and plan your trip accordingly so that you can get one of those loads out of Lewisburg. It's a distribution center. They have another one in Memphis. They got another one in San Antonio. They have another one in Indianapolis. So it's going to be a regional type of reload out of there. So understand that going in when you're selecting your load.
And you had put me down for Texas to win it all.
You got to put it on Facebook, man. Put it on Facebook, all right? Go
All right.
Go Horns.
Go
Matthew McConaughey agrees. Thanks. Appreciate it, Alex. Hope that answered your question.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We don't have any other questions so far.
All right. Well, appreciate everybody being on the call today. Look forward to having another safe, productive week. Every day is an adventure. Every day is a chance to have an accident-free day. So we're here to help you and support you and be on your side. Thanks for calling in today, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. This concludes today's Warren Fleet conference call.